Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. What a fine Sabbath it is, even though it's pretty cold. Welcome back to the Apostate Ape channel, where you can watch an undereducated hick perform an intellectual takedown of the Christian faith and doctrine for your entertainment. Welcome in, welcome in. Once again, it is the Sabbath. Another fine Sabbath day. Don't we all love the Sabbath? Well, hopefully the Sabbath brings us some good debates today. Thank you for the heart, Mommy. As usual, what we do up in here is debate Christians. Tyler, if you requested up on purpose, hang out for maybe 2 more minutes tops, and we'll bring you up for some debates, buddy. Just got the old live turned on. It's only been on for a second now. So we're going to let a few people build up in here. Oh, good deal. Tyler was for real. Yeah, just hang out for just a minute there, buddy. I just fired this thing up. So we're going to let a couple people pile in here, and then we'll get the day started. The good old Sabbath. Some Sabbath debates. We love Sabbath debates. Once again, if you hadn't been here before, besides TikTok banned language, I basically do a free speech platform here. All I ask is that you are capable of having an actual conversation. Other than that, say whatever you want, pretty much. Just stay on the topic. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. Happy Sabbath to you. Happy Sabbath. Don't have super long today, but we got plenty enough time to get in some real good conversations. As usual. As usual. It's always a firecracker in here, ain't it? Especially the Sabbaths. The Sabbaths seem to bring out the finest of Christians in here. We'll hit, let's see, give me, what was that, 803? Give me like another, maybe 1.5 minutes there, Tyler, and we'll bring you up, bro. I hear you. I hear you. All right, welcome through, everybody. Welcome through. We're about to get started. We already got, what we got here? All right. If y'all in there, please tap that screen for me. Get the algorithm flowing this morning. Like, the algorithm flowing like a fine wine, pushing us out into the world. Like a fiery sermon. We gotta tap the screen there. All right. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, got a couple folks in the queue already, so let's bring up Mr. Tyler here. Go ahead and get it rocking. Tyler, you there?
Hello, blessings for the Sabbath.
Yes, blessings, blessings. Are you over 18?
Yes,
Awesome, and you're a Christian?
yes,
Good
yes.
deal. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on this fine Sabbath day?
Well, I mean, we could just start with number one, number two. I like number one and number two.
Okay, whichever one you feel like.
So, first of all, are you a Christian man? Are you atheist, or how are we?
I'm an atheist now. I'm a former Christian.
Okay, but you know the Bible and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, would you say that maybe Revelations and World War II correlate?
Negative.
How so not?
Because Revelation's about Rome, it tells you that.
Well, it doesn't have to just continue to stay in the same place. Where you know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
So
It
which one
doesn't.
of these are we actually debating up here?
So I guess number two.
Jesus fulfills zero prophecy. So you're saying Jesus fulfilled a prophecy from Revelation?
Well, I'm pretty much saying he fulfills them all in the New Testament.
Oh, okay.
We still have time in the Bible because we're still alive.
Okay.
Which isn't, I guess,
Interesting.
would be an opinion, but for instance, like when it's talking about the mark of the beast has happened several times. It happened in World War II. These people couldn't
You
eat.
mean the Antichrist popped up in World War II?
Basically, yeah, he was an antichrist for them, wasn't he?
Who was he? What he are we talking about?
Mr. H man, the good boy from Germany.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to unalive all the Jews, but in order to do so, they had to have the mark of the beast. It describes the mark of the beast. It's the same mark.
You're talking about 666, right?
Right. Same mark.
You know that's a Greek numerical translation, right?
Well, it's going to happen probably several times.
But I'm asking you, like, you know that spells someone's name in Greek numerical, right?
Oh, no, what does it spell?
It spells Neron Kaiser.
Oh, okay. So then in Rome too.
Yeah, it's all about Rome. It actually tells you that if you read it.
Well, tell me how it's what does it say specifically that this is only for Rome?
Well, it doesn't say it's for anything else, but up until a guy named Darby come around in the 1800s, nobody thought that the Book of Revelation was about a future event. Everybody already knew it was a past event. And then this guy named Darby writes his own Bible in the 1800s, and ever since then, people have thought Revelation's about a future event for some reason, based on what Darby said.
Do you know like the Roman emperors more or less?
Yeah,
All
some of
you
them.
know what I mean, like the more notable ones. Who was the worst one? Do you know?
Who was the worst one?
Yeah, like notably the worst one throughout time, like the most heinous. You know what I mean?
According to the Bible, it was Nero.
But you know what? I'm gonna disagree because everyone knows them as Caligula. Or is that Caligula? Is Caligula and Nero the same one? Because I know you had two names, and like
No,
that's
no, no, they're different.
yeah. So Caligula would be the worst emperor in history. So, I mean, why would it be specifically Nero? Do you know what I mean?
He was the first one to actively persecute Christians.
Perfect. So if he was the first
Right.
one to actively persecute Christians, wouldn't that mean that's some sort of a prophecy fulfilled?
Not really. And it certainly wouldn't be Jesus fulfilling it.
No, Jesus came and fulfilled a whole different part of, you've read the Bible. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
to you today is that the Bible matters then and today, and that you kind of just proved my point a little bit because they correlate.
What did I prove?
Well, you're telling me now that correlates with somebody's name, which I don't go into gematria or however you pronounce it of it, but if you're saying to me right now that there's more seated in the Bible, well, that's technically what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah, I actually don't think Jesus fulfills a single one of the prophecies that the New Testament says he does.
Well, we wouldn't have the New Testament without Jesus, though.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus is
But that
God, you
doesn't
understand
mean
that.
it's true, though. Or
Jesus
Jesus
isn't
fulfills any
just,
prophecies.
that's the misconception that I like to teach is Jesus isn't just a prophet, he's also God. The Muslims know that too. They don't want
No, Muslims don't think Jesus is God.
trust me, they know it, they just go against everybody else, but they know in
Uh,
the end times and Jesus will come back in their revelations as well. So it's not like, he's not pretty much the main character in every story now that we're thinking about it. Besides the Old Testament, it's Moses.
okay. Well, Muslims certainly don't think Jesus is God.
No, I know, but they believe he's a prophet, but they're kind of misconstrued when they say he's going to be the one to come back in the end times. I thought only God can judge in all religions.
Well, according to the Bible and the Old Testament, only God can judge. So it's kind of crazy that they made a guy in the first century a
Right.
judge.
If you ask a Christian who's God, we're going to tell you Jesus Christ.
Some of them do, not all of you.
Well, that's
I mean,
wrong.
most people just go with, Jesus is the Son of God, which is what the Bible actually says.
But he also says, I and the Father are one, and no one comes to the Father except through me.
Sure, I can say I and the universe are one. It don't mean I am the universe, does it?
No, but the point being, and if it's since you're Christian, I know you know, but basically Jesus was in human flesh at that time, and he was being humble about it. Instead of just saying, I'm the master of the world, you should bow before me, he just kind of put it a different context.
Does God strike you as a humble character?
Yes. We
Really,
are
he
the
strikes me
ones.
as a big, psychotic, jealous, wrathful narcissist.
Right, but when you're when you're doing something wrong, my friend, and you know it's wrong, don't you know you're going to face the consequences for that usually?
What consequences?
I mean, I don't have to get into morality with you. You know what's right and wrong. If you go and shoot 20 people outside on your street right now, would you expect to survive much longer with all the police we have? And would you think that would be okay? No one would bat
Depends.
an eye.
No, I don't think it would be okay.
So I mean, we know what's right and
This is
wrong.
beside the point of Jesus fulfilling prophecy, though.
Not really. I just take a long time to prove my point, but basically we know what's right and wrong. Jesus has explained that to us. He fulfilled the 10
So
commandments.
is it wrong to own people as property?
Today, yes.
Today. Is it wrong to sell your daughter into slavery?
Well, back in the day, kings and queens had the same nature, so you tell me they were the best amongst them, but they still were.
To me, it was never right. It's not right now, and
But
it wasn't right then.
back in the day, mainly princesses and queens were slaves. I mean, they were basically there
What
to
are you
just look
talking about?
pretty.
That's not true.
Yeah, they were basically there to just look pretty and be married off. That's almost like a slave. They weren't
Well,
there
that was
to.
all women in the Bible.
Right, so you can't tell me like nowadays that's pretty. I mean, it happens. We have arranged marriages in places in the world, but that's pretty outlandish in the United States.
I mean, the Bible says you can own people as property.
I bear and guarantee it says
So
that in the Old Testament.
according to God or the Bible, it was okay at some point, right?
Yeah, in the Old Testament before Jesus came, sure.
Okay. So where does it ever say in the New Testament that you can't own people as property?
It says to love thy neighbor, doesn't it? It says that in the Old Testament, but
Does it say you can't own? Does it say you can't own people as property? Because it explicitly
well,
says
technically,
you
I
can
could own you
people
as property if I pay you enough. It's still indentured servitude, but if you don't have to
That's
work for me, though.
that's not what chattel slavery is, though.
Right, but they didn't. I mean, technically, we're all in a form of slavery to money.
Technically, we're not.
Yeah, we are because I need money to survive.
No,
If
we're
I
not.
don't have that and no one gives it to me, I'm gonna die.
That doesn't mean someone owns you as
So
property and can
technically,
do
money
whatever
owns us
with
all as
you what they
indentured
want.
servitude. So I could own you if I have more money than you, and you
I'm
have to
not
work.
talking about indentured servitude.
It's the
I'm talking
same
about chattel
concept.
slavery.
It's the same thing,
No,
right?
it's not.
All right, what's the difference?
One is a debt that you can pay off eventually, and the other one makes you property that can be passed on to children.
Okay, all
The
right.
Bible makes
All
distinguishments
right.
between these two.
All right, but that's in the Old Testament, I guarantee.
What difference does that make?
Jesus wasn't here till the New Testament, and that's where Christian values and doctrine comes from.
Okay, so where did Jesus say you can't own slaves?
Jesus is the one that taught peace against the Jews.
Yeah, but where does he say you can't own slaves?
Let me go pull up a verse from you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll all be interested to see that.
When Jesus is talking about love everyone, did he exclude anything when he said that?
He didn't say love everyone. He said love your neighbor.
No, that's just one part. He defends
Okay.
prostitutes. He defends Gentiles. He defends
He calls a
women.
Gentile woman a dog.
In what context? Where?
We'll get to that in a minute. Just show us where he said you
Alright.
can. Slavery's bad. You'll be the first person in history to find a passage in the Bible that says you can't own
I
slaves.
could make the Bible fit my doctrine way more than like any atheist can. Let me
Let's
see.
see it.
If you're gonna make the Bible fit about hate, then watch this.
Well, it's about babies being unalived and women being raped on the orders of this
No,
God.
no,
so-
that in that sense, that was talking about war.
Yeah,
All
and
is
it's
fair in love
stuff
and
that
war.
God ordered, and He did it to His own people, the Israelites.
Then the
too, so-
Israelites wouldn't be here no more. Thus, this conversation wouldn't have happened. Essentially,
They are here, and it did happen. So.
that's why the Bible's true. I'm telling you. See, you know, you just don't want to believe.
So it's true that God had all those women raped and all those babies unalived.
Well, he didn't do anything. The Israelites
He did. He says, "I'm doing this." He says, "I'm going to make this happen," and does it.
but he wasn't the one that did it. He told the
Have
Israelites.
you've
to
read
do
the
it.
Bible, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it.
Watch this.
You still looking for the slave passage there?
No, I'm just gonna read it to you like this. Watch. All right. So, John 13:34, a new commandment I give you, love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. Does that
What's new about that?
You have Matthew 5:43, 44. You have heard that it was said,
We're,
love your
we're
neighbor
looking for
and
the
hate
slave
your enemy."
passage where it says, where Jesus says you can't have slaves.
All right.
And love your neighbor as yourself is Levitic law, so there's nothing new about that.
Romans 13:8, let no debt remain outstanding except to continue to love one another. Anyway.
I was waiting on you to tell us where you can't have slaves in the Bible.
All right. I'm going to look it up. I know what you're going to say. I'm going to try to just
Well, it's not in
disprove you
there,
off
so-
atheist logic. Okay. All right.
Yep. Yeah, show us.
All right. It says, Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for you are all one in Jesus Christ, in Christ Jesus. Timothy,
Does that say you can't own people as property?
basically 1 Timothy 1:9.
You seem to have a real hard time tracking this conversation. Like, that
1
doesn't say you
Timothy-
can't own slaves.
Okay. 1 Timothy 1:9-11. Enslavers among those who are contrary to sound doctrine suggest that early Christian community recognize the ethical. Oh, no. I want to read the real verse. No. I don't want to read what it means. Hold on. I'm sorry. Where's 1 Timothy right there? No, I want to go to the verse.
There ain't nothing in Timothy about not owning slaves.
But essentially, the last paragraph did say.
The Bible never says you can't own slaves.
It doesn't
Not
say you
once.
can't, but it doesn't say you
It
should
does say
either.
you can.
It doesn't say you
It
should.
does say you can.
From what I'm reading, it says you cannot.
It says you can. Show us where it says you cannot.
I told you Galatians 3:28.
Read it.
Galatians 3:20. I just read it. Hold on. Come on, pull it back up because we're in the debate. Quick, son. It says in Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free,
That doesn't say you can't own slaves.
male nor female, for you all are one in Jesus Christ. It's saying we're all equal. So slavery means you're unequal, correct?
What?
When I own you as a slave, are you my equal?
No.
Okay, so essentially it's saying we're all equal.
All equal in Christ. That doesn't say you can't own slaves.
But see, you can interpret it different than me.
You can interpret it however you want, but I'm going with what it actually says.
Well, where does it say? Because you told me to read you a page where, slavery is inequality. So I'm telling you right here, it says slave
That's
nor
not
free,
what I
male nor
said.
free man.
I said, show us where it says you can't own slaves. That's what you said it says.
Well, then I guess the Bible can be interpreted in different contexts, which is why we have different denominations. But
Okay,
what
well,
you're
show us
telling me
any
is that
words that
Jesus.
says you can't own slaves.
if I say to love one of another, don't kill prostitutes, treat everyone as you would like to be treated, where am I teaching to own a slave?
God ordered in his law in the Old Testament that prostitutes be set on fire if they're a priest's son or daughters.
Then why did Jesus defend that prostitute? And do you want me to bring
Because
up
he had to wiggle out of keeping the law to look good.
why would he do that? He could have just let her die.
He could have. He didn't say don't stone her, did he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He literally got in front of that woman.
Show us where he said don't stone her.
And he said, "Let he without sin cast the first stone." No, he wanted them to think about it.
Is that saying don't stone her? Or is that saying let he with no sin
He
cast the
saved her
first
life,
stone?
essentially. You know that.
Yeah, by not keeping the law. He was supposed to unalive her.
He
according
don't
to the
have
law.
to keep the law. He makes the law.
He does have to keep the law.
He don't. He's God. He don't need y'all's opinion. If he wanted to, he could have had all of them executed by his angels. But he wanted to be humble about it.
Oh, okay. Well, so far, slavery's okay. Raping women's okay. Unaliving babies is okay. So,
I'm not saying that. The guy in the left ear, the devil, he's telling you it's okay. But Jesus in the right,
that's what the Bible says.
he's telling you it's wrong.
It's what the Bible says.
No, the Bible don't say it's okay. It says it happens.
It's okay sometimes, isn't it?
No.
Yeah. Because God orders it done. So if God's ordering it, it's got to be good, right?
No, what y'all are talking about is when the Jews were being genocided back then as they are today. That just like how the prophecies were being fulfilled in the Bible that no one wants to believe. Us that read know when Revelation.
I don't see why anybody would believe you, man. You're not making any sense.
Because I'm preaching love and you're preaching hate.
I'm just reading the book.
I looked at your views now. They're jumping up when I talk about love and all that. When you talk about hate and negativity, it just jumps down, and that's the power
Well,
of
people
love.
like the contention of a debate page. That's why they like this channel. But
All right. Well, I'll let you debate another Christian, my brother. You're so smart. You're going to talk yourself in and out of the lottery. But,
okay,
all right. You have a blessed day.
back at you, buddy. Wow. It was horrible points he made there. It was cool though. He was a nice guy. Oh boy. All right, before we bring up the next one, let's see where we're hitting here. Still need 5 followers to cross 1,300. I appreciate all the screen taps and likes. Thanks for everybody showing up on this fine Sabbath day. I always think it's funny when people say, read the part where Jesus says, "This is a new command I give you, love your neighbor as yourself." So like, where the hell did they get new from? Because that's Levitic law. It's not new. So I'm not sure where Jesus got that new word from there. He's saying keep Levitic law. So are we under the law? Are we not under the law? Okay. All right. So let's try the next one here. Let's try Mr. EJ. This broken picture. EJ, you there?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Hey, going good. Thanks for asking, man. Are you over 18?
I'm 48.
Cool. Are you a Christian?
I'm probably 18. I don't claim to be an American Christian due to they don't keep the words of Christ.
So are you like a European Christian?
Do love Christ that way.
Okay. So which
I'm
one of
more,
these topics you want to debate us on today?
A lover of.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll piggyback off the last one about the concept of slavery and things like that, because I understand individually speaking the inherent right to life, individually speaking under Christ, through liberty, individually would abolish that concept of slavery. Like wasn't it Galatians 2:4 that said that? Like liberty through
Never says you
Christ.
can't own slaves. In fact, it tells you to obey your masters if you are a slave, even the cruel ones, and that's how you serve God.
Supposed to obey your masters. You're supposed to give Caesar which is Caesar, right? That was the whole story of
Well,
the
let's talk about
centurion
taxes,
wanting
but
to save. Well, yeah, but in Matthew 8, the centurion asked Jesus to save his servant, and Christ pushes him on it, and he's like, "Hey, why? What's up with that?" And then the centurion's like, "Well, I command a lot of people." He's like, "I command even my soldiers to cut down other soldiers." So you have to understand, it wasn't about slavery under Christ. It was about the abolishment of marginalization. So if you can tell me what the difference between marginalization and slavery is, then, how could one have slavery without marginalization? That would be my question.
what do you mean by marginalization?
So the way I look at it and the way I understand the definitions of the differences of the terms, right, is if slavery is just a byproduct upon the marginalization. It's the whole point of how
Well, what is
a na-
marginalization? I've never even heard this term before come up.
you've never heard marginalized or marginalization before?
Not in the term, not in the way you're using it.
Okay. Well, I mean, marginalized or marginalization has to do with treating people lesser than, right? So it's like an
Okay.
inferior. It's like a superior God complex, right? So
Okay.
it's the whole reason why the people that abolished slavery in America was able to commit genocide on another nation of Indians, right? Native Americans. So
Yeah, they gave
if
themselves a divine right to do it. It was called manifest destiny.
well, no, Manifest Destiny was a divine right to go to out west based upon
Yeah, to conquer to take the land from other people. Yeah, that's what manifest destiny
yeah,
is.
and that was racist. That wasn't Christian backed. That was racist
It was
backed.
Christian. They
Yeah,
were Christians.
they didn't use the Bible based upon their manifest destiny.
Sure, they did.
They kept
Same way that
it's
God
not,
gave
it's not, it's
the Israelites the land of Canaan, it was other people's land. He said, "I'm giving you their land. Go take it."
no, that you're talking under Abrahamic covenant. The new covenant is not under Abrahamic covenant. The new covenant is under the fruits of the Spirit. Matthew
The
21,
new
33
covenant's
through
still
46.
Mosaic law. Even Jesus says this.
No, the new covenant is
Yeah.
fulfilled because you don't have to
Mm-mm.
follow law if love is there. Love will fulfill law
Nope.
regardless.
Jesus
But
says
to
if you don't keep
understand,
the law better than the teachers and the Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom.
and he also said, even in the Matthew 8, when he talks about the slavery aspect with the Canaanite, he says that the east will sit at the table of Abraham, the west will sit at the table of Abraham, and the not be there. You got to understand, in Matthew 21, 33 through 46, is when Christ is talking to the Pharisees. He's talking to Israel there, and he gives them the parable of the husband. And the husband is in John 15, and it tells the husband itself is God, and Christ is the vines. And in Matthew 21, 33 through 46, he's talking to the Pharisees, and he gives them that same parable. And at the end of the parable, the Pharisees get it wrong when they say when you love the Son, and they get it wrong, and Christ tells them, it's like you don't even know your own parable. He tells them then that the kingdom will be taken from them, and it's going to be given to a new nation,
Now,
in
why
which
did Jesus
bears
talk in
its
parables
fruits.
again?
And
So why did Jesus talk in parables again?
well, that wasn't at the end of the parable. It wasn't a parable; it was a prophecy.
Well, sure, but why does
He
Jesus
used the
talk in
parable
parables? Why
because
does he
because
say he's
that
talking in parables?
what he used in Matthew 21, 33 through 46, the parable of the husbandman was a parable that was in the understanding of the husbandman, and that's why
I
he
got
used the
you, but
parable,
why
because
does Jesus
they
say he
knew the
tells
parable,
parables?
that particular parable. But then when he why does anybody tell parables?
Why
I
does
don't
Jesus
understand
tell
what you mean
parables?
by
Is my
that.
question. He tells you what they asked him why he speaks in parables. You know what
Everybody
I'm talking
speaks in
about?
parables.
This is specific
Yeah,
to
it's
Jesus.
called metaphors. Yeah, parables. What's the difference between a parable and a metaphor?
A metaphor is like a analogous story, sort
but
of.
yeah, exactly. And we know what is knowledge if not material? So if you have to, if you have to describe something or analyze something, then you can use a parable, whether it be through natural science or whatnot, to understand logos, right? So that is God under John 1. God is logos, and logos is God. So
You know,
to
Jesus says in
understand,
John, if you love me, keep all my commandments.
yes, and his commandments were
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 13, right? So
Nope.
the
There's a whole
nine
bunch of
fruits of
commands.
the Spirit.
There's over
Yeah, but
613
what's
commands
the
to
great?
keep, actually.
Yeah, but there's one. But there's one. Okay, here's the thing: you got to understand under Christ. There's one thing more important than faith, and Christ and God is not the Lord of Lords under the Trinitarian doctrine. There's only one unforgivable sin,
Sure, but you're
and
not
that's
answering
the.
my actual questions here.
How did I not answer it?
I don't know why you didn't answer it, but
Now,
that's not what I'm
how did I
asking.
not answer it? No, yeah, but
Because you
see,
didn't
you're saying
address
that
my
God.
actual question.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, he says, keep the commandments. Yes, but if you love,
All the commandments.
yes, and how do you keep track of all the commandments?
Well, they're all written down coincidentally, and in the new covenant, they're supposed to be written on your heart and on your mind. So you're supposed to just know them.
Why? Okay, so why was God against the laws in the New Testament?
God's
And why?
not against the
Why
law.
did
God
Peter?
only ever says to keep
Why?
the law. He says to keep them all the days you live on this earth. He says they are not too hard or far away from you, and Jesus says the same thing.
He says
So
that
it
he didn't
doesn't
come to
sound like you
abolish
know
it,
what
but to
Jesus
fulfill
actually
it.
taught. What does
Oh
not
yes.
abolish mean?
So what? So what was Paul and Peter getting into then?
What does not abolished mean?
It means that the laws were not perfect.
Not abolished.
God was.
Nope.
The laws were not
You
perfect.
changed the word abolished to perfect.
Okay.
And God says
Is
the
it
law
possible?
is perfect. So you're getting really twisted here now.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Because what's more important than faith under
Yeah, you are.
Christ? What's more important than faith under
Keeping the
Christ?
law, what Jesus says to do to get to heaven, to gain eternal
No,
life, you have to keep the law.
nope.
Yep.
That's not true. So you're telling
Yeah,
me
it
in
is.
Matthew 25. Hold up. You're telling me in Matthew 25, when Christ comes again, he separates the sheep from the goats. What law is it that they break to separate the sheep from the goats?
You have to keep the
Under
law
Matthew
to help your
25.
neighbor. In Matthew 25, he separates the sheep and the goats based on what they did, based on your actions, on your works. It doesn't say anything about belief or faith in Matthew 25. It says you will be
Which law
separated
though?
based on
What
what you did, whether you gave
which
people
law?
water that were thirsty.
I hear what you're saying, but what law did they break? Did the goats
The
break for
Mosaic
them not to
law,
get?
all the law. It's not
What?
talking about law right there. It's talking about what you did. It's based on works. That's the whole point.
No.
Like in Matthew
I'm
16,
asking
he
you.
says, I'm going to come judge each man according to his works.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But see, we're talking about the fruits of the spirit, which number one fruit of the spirit, even under there's the First
Well,
Corinthians
here, let's
13,
just
which
make
is
it
the
a little
most.
clearer. Show us anywhere where Jesus ever says the law is abolished and goes away and you don't have to keep it.
So, like I said, Matthew 21, 33 to 46, what he says that the kingdom will go
That
to.
doesn't say the law is going away.
Hey, what is it? But he says the laws become what? Do the laws go to?
What do you mean, what do they go to?
He said the kingdom would be taken from you and given a kingdom.
I don't know. What?
bears its 9 fruits of the Spirit, right? And number 1 being agape
So can you
love,
show
which
us
is even
anywhere where
detailed
it
in
says
First
the law
Corinthians 13.
goes away? So can you show us anywhere where it says the law goes away?
Yeah. Like I said, Matthew 21:33-46, where he
That
says the
doesn't
kingdom
say
will
the
be
law
taken from
goes
you,
away.
talking to the Israelites who follow the law.
All right.
If the
What
kingdom's
verse did you say that
taken
was?
from those that
What
follow the
verse was that?
law,
Sir, can you track? What
Matthew
verse was that?
21, yeah, Matthew 21:33-46, when Christ is talking to the Pharisees who follow the law.
That's the parable of the wicked tenants. And Jesus chastises the Pharisees for not keeping the law of Moses. Oh, I think he's got a really bad signal.
That's not what.
What?
That's not what it says.
Yes, it is. This is always the problem for Christians. This is what happens when you follow Paul.
You got to read the words.
You don't
read
even
the words.
Yeah, you got to read the words.
Okay, well, we'll read it then. I know what it says. The parable is about the husband and talking about the husband is not a good husband, but they end up destroying everything the husband did. But then he sends his son, and then they unalive the son. And then Christ ends the parable by asking a question like, what do you think should happen to those that unalive the son? Or what happens? And then the Pharisees like, well, they should divide his assets between all the other men. And then Christ tells them, it's like, you don't even know your own parable. You don't even know your own parable.
Okay,
because
so where does it say the law goes away?
Rock.
Show us the actual verse where it says the law
I'm
goes
finished.
away.
I'm telling I'm finished.
That's not in this parable.
I'm in the 40s now in the verses. Okay, it is in the. He ends the parable and then he tells them what will happen. He's like, you don't know your own parable. He's telling,
Where
like I'm telling you. He was telling the Pharisees who followed the law, right?
He told the Pharisees not to follow the law.
Where the law goes away.
Where does it say
that? He told the Pharisees that the kingdom will be taken from them, and it will be given to a kingdom bearing.
Where does it say the law will be taken from them? The law. I'm talking about the law.
Well, the law in this case is sort of like the same concept you're talking about slavery, right? It's talking about the marginalization.
The signal's really, really bad.
I gotta take care of something right now. I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah. They never can show you where the law actually goes away. All right. Well, great Sabbath so far. Need to knock a few things off my screen here. Yeah, honestly, I'll probably be a little surprised if he comes back there. All right, so let's see here. Walter, give me just a second. If you requested up on purpose, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Welcome in, everybody. Let's see if I got any new. Only need 2 more followers to get to 1,300, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I couldn't tell. Sometimes if they got a bad signal and they're cutting in and out, I give them a little too much benefit of the doubt because I can't tell if they heard me or not. But anyway. All right, guys, I appreciate all the screen taps and everything. Yes, thank y'all. Good morning, Wildflower. Good morning, ninjas. Happy Sabbath to everyone. This is the day that God will unalive you for picking up sticks on. So don't do nothing crazy. Trying to bring somebody up here. Well, never mind. The queue's empty now. I guess we'll have to wait a minute on another Christian debate here. Good morning, Rick. What is up, guys? What is up? Thank y'all for tapping that screen, keeping the algorithm flowing here. Yeah, don't be working out there. You'll get unalived real quick. God hears. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Well, if you're a Christian and you want to come up in here in the queue and debate, it's wide open right now. Gracie. Gracie, you there?
Hi, how are you, buddy?
Doing all right. Are you over 18?
Yes,
Awesome. Are you a Christian?
yes.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on today? On this fine
Well,
Sabbath?
you were talking about the law, and I don't think that the law was taken away. I don't think that's what Christians really hold. What had happened is the law was abolished. In Ephesians 2:15, it's
That's
katarageo
according
in
to
the
Paul, not
Greek.
Jesus, though.
I'm sorry.
That's according to Paul, not Jesus, though. Jesus says you have to keep the law. Jesus says the law is not abolished explicitly.
I understand that, but as a Gentile, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the revelation of Paul. The first,
Paul's just being a heretic, man. He's going against what Jesus said.
well, Paul was the first writer accepted in the church before even the Gospels were written. So
Well, Paul's pretty
if
famous because he got people out of keeping the law, but Jesus and God never says the law is abolished. In fact, they say you have to keep the law to please God and get to the kingdom. That's the
I'm
only way to God,
sorry,
according to Jesus.
I'm a Christian and I believe the Pauline epistles. I
Yeah, you
believe
believe
those.
that over Jesus.
No, I don't. I believe that
Yes, you
over
do.
Matthew and please let me finish. I believe that over Matthew and writing. Matthew wasn't even written. If you can throw away Paul, then you could throw away Matthew talking to Gentiles because Matthew was
I
written
think
to
we should all
Jewish
throw all this in
believers.
the garbage, but I think we should
I
throw it
know,
all in the
but you
garbage. But
can't
here we
you
are.
can't take a stance on something you don't hold to and then switch
I
the
can because
stance
of
if
what it
I
says.
that's
Jesus never once says the law goes away. Jesus only ever
I
says you
never
have to
said
keep the
the law
law or
went
you
away.
will not enter the kingdom.
The law
Yes, you
is
did.
for
You agreed with Paul. He
non-believers.
says the law is abolished verbatim. In Ephesians chapter 2, he says the law is abolished. You are under
I
grace, not under the
absolutely
law.
know what I just told you, the Greek word katarageo. I understand. I don't think you
I
understand
don't
why
speak
Matthew
Greek.
was written. Matthew was written to Jews, and it was not written to
So you're
Gentiles.
saying the Gospel of Matthew is just bogus. We shouldn't listen to Matthew. Which Gospel should
No,
we
I
listen to?
never said that. I didn't say that. I didn't say it was bogus. I said that Matthew has a point in what he's writing, and Paul has a point in what he's saying too.
Okay.
It's called dispensationalism. It's how
Well, show me anywhere in the Bible where it says the law goes away besides Paul.
I never said the law goes away. I said that the
Yeah, but
law.
Paul does.
Paul
That's my
doesn't even
point.
say the law goes away because he
Yes, he does. He
applies.
says the law is abolished. You are not under the
Yeah,
law.
yeah, but
He says the
he
law is abolished.
says
It goes away. In
that
Romans 5, it says
applies.
it too.
He then applies it to the non-believer in 1 Timothy chapter 1 and accuses people of not knowing how to use the law.
He says the law's abolished. He says one man brought sin into the world and one man took it out.
No, that's Romans 5, but that has nothing to do with
Yeah, I
this
know.
part of it. No, with
Do you know what sin
Ephesians
is?
chapter. Do I what?
Do you know what sin is?
Yes, I know what. Yeah, hamartia is. Yes,
Sin is breaking the law.
sin is missing the mark. Is what hamartia means.
Sin is breaking the law, according to John.
Well, hamartia in Greek means to miss the mark. So, well,
Okay,
thanks.
well,
I
that's not
was
what John
trying to
says.
clear
So.
something up, but I don't think you want to hear what I've studied. So,
Well, it doesn't sound like you've actually studied very well.
sir,
No offense,
I have
but
a doctorate in theology. I've studied with the top translators,
so what does John
Bible
say sin is?
scholars, whatever.
Okay, so what does John say sin is?
There's a lot of why are you going with John and not with Paul?
Because Paul's a heretic. I've already said that like 3 times.
Why how do you have establishment then the entire Christian church, the early church didn't read John and didn't read, my gosh, John, you're an atheist, you should be ripping John apart. John's late. John, how do we even know to
Should be
trust
ripping
John?
John apart. Why in the world are you listening to Paul and not Jesus?
Because I wouldn't know about Jesus if it wasn't for Paul. He was the
This is the
apostle
weirdest
to the
argument I've ever heard.
Gentiles. He
Praise
was
Paul.
the apostle.
Y'all heard it here, folks. Praise Paul. Paul's the real
I never said
Messiah
praise
here.
Paul. I said Paul was the apostle
You
to
might as
the
well be saying
Gentiles.
that.
He's my authority when it comes to
Okay.
my hearing from Christ. If you're a Jew, it's Peter.
Maybe Jesus should be the authority. I'm just saying.
You don't get it, buddy. You're skipping things. When
No.
for your authority for Jesus as a Jew is Peter.
So which
It
part
says
of
it right
which
in
gospel can we
Galatians chapter
trust?
Galatians
Is there
chapter
anything
2.
Jesus says in a gospel that we should actually follow? Because it sounds like you're just reading Paul, and that's the Bible to you.
No, things happened when Jesus died.
Where
Things
does Jesus come
went.
into this?
I just said when Jesus died, things came into effect, and Christ rose from the grave, and things came into effect. We didn't have the Holy Spirit, and then Pentecost happened, and then we had the indwelling of the Holy Spirit.
And then the
Things
law went
happen
away.
in different dispensations.
So you do think you're under
And
the law, right?
Paul was, not only by his writing but by Luke's writing, was shown to be the apostle to the Gentiles, not anyone else.
Never heard anybody discard Jesus so easily and
I
worship Paul.
have not discarded Jesus. I don't know what you're talking about.
You have. I've asked you a bunch of times. I've asked you a bunch of
Where's
times.
the
Where
book
is
that
anything?
Jesus
Where can
wrote?
we trust what Jesus says? Where's the what?
Where's the book that Jesus wrote?
Okay, so I don't know. Show us.
Wait, I don't get your take. You're an atheist. I don't know why you would bother with talking
I don't
to
get your
Christians
take,
if
and
you're
you're a
an
Christian.
atheist.
This is the strangest conversation I've ever had.
It's called dispensationalism. It's what the
It's
church
called
has held
worshiping Paul
since.
and discarding everything it says about what Jesus said. Just what it sounds like
Why
to
do
me.
you even believe that Jesus said that if you're an
Because
atheist and you think
I've
that the
asked you,
Bible
I've
is
asked you
bunk?
like 10 times, and you've dodged my question every time I've asked you. Where is something Jesus says that's true? Where's some Jesus words that we can trust in the Bible?
What was I gonna
Maybe the
say?
Sermon on the Mount. Is that possible?
Sermon on the
Or
Mount
is that
wasn't
made up
directed
too?
towards Gentiles.
Wow.
The sermon, it wasn't.
Was
Have
it
you
true or
ever
not?
read Jacob Neusner, the most prolific
No.
Jew that ever lived? You never read Jacob Neusner, then you shouldn't be throwing around the Sermon on
So
the
is the
Mount.
Sermon on the Mount? Is the Sermon
I
on
have
the Mount
D.A.
legit or
Carson
not?
here. Do you want me to grab D.A. Carson? Sermon on the
I
Mount
don't
is
know
one
who
of the
that
most
is.
misrepresented speaking of Jesus ever. Jesus wasn't talking.
So no. Is there any words of Jesus we can trust or not?
It's better to give than to receive. There's a lot of things. Jesus 90% of the time was talking to Israel and how he was going to get rid of the old covenant with the destruction of Jerusalem, which proves our faith.
That's not what
He
getting rid of the old
predicted.
covenant is.
I'm sorry. What? You can't fulfill the old covenant without the
Did you
temple,
say you
sir.
had somebody else you could put on? Did you say you had somebody else you could put on?
No, but you can't. What old covenant can you fulfill? What of the Decalogue can you fulfill?
You can't fulfill an old covenant. The old covenant was broken.
Well, you
So was
can't
the new
fulfill
one,
the
but
old
Christians never
covenant
know that.
because the temple's gone and the priesthood's gone. So there's.
Yeah,
Am
it
I
would be nice
right?
if Jesus actually fulfilled the prophecies the Messiah is supposed to fill, and then we wouldn't have to get rid of the
I
temple.
know your argument about that. I know you don't understand first century Hebrew writing and what was expected. I'm sure you look at the genealogies and don't understand the genealogies weren't written the way they are today.
Which genealogy?
The Matthean, the Lucian genealogies both have
The only two
shortcomings
that
in them
puts
to
Jesus
modern
in the Old
readers.
Testament, the two that are different from each other.
You have
Matthew gives a
no
different
idea
line
what a
than Luke
first
does, right?
century writer writes.
All right.
You've studied, so you've
All right. Well,
studied.
thanks for coming up, buddy. But this is the strangest thing I've ever heard in my freaking life. Praise Paul, not Jesus. Wow. Never heard that one before. Anyway, I don't think you can actually track a conversation, sir, so I'm going to have to move on here. All right. Well, let's try another one. We still got, what we got, about an hour and 10 minutes? Oh, yeah. Still got plenty of time here. Yeah, don't drink and TikTok. That's what I was thinking. Maybe not drinking, but I was thinking something. Wow. Never mind what Jesus said, y'all. Paul is the one that had it figured out. Maybe we should have put Paul up on the cross there. Sacrificed Paul. Maybe Paul would have made a good human sacrifice. Better than Jesus. All right. Well, let's bring up the next one. Well, start trying to bring them up anyway. I agree, Jennifer. I've never heard of that. Was really weird. Marshall, you there?
Hey, what's up, man? Greetings.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Are you over 18? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Cool. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Cool. So which one of these topics do you want to debate us on today?
Okay. Can I chime in on what you were talking about, the law with that guy?
Oh, yeah. You don't worship Paul over Jesus, do you?
Yeah. Say that again?
You don't worship Paul over Jesus, do you?
No, sir. Paul only possible because of Jesus. Jesus is the head cornerstone.
Cool.
Paul and the apostles, they laid the foundation. And Christians come and build on it. And there is no other foundation.
So if Paul said something that didn't line up with what Jesus said, who would be right?
Jesus.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, but he said something about the law.
Whatever you was going to say there.
He was going back. He was saying about the law. You were saying the law abolished, right? And he says the law is not.
No, I was saying the law is not abolished. Paul says the law is abolished. Jesus never says that.
Okay. So, okay, good. That's what I was hearing. So then Jesus didn't say that in, especially Matthew chapter 5, I think, from verse 17 to 19. He said, I didn't come to destroy the law, but I come to what? Fulfill, right? So did Jesus die at the cross, right? He did, right? When he said that, he didn't die yet.
Yeah.
Didn't unalive
Yeah.
yet, is the word. Right? Agree?
Right. Yep.
Good. So follow me so far. He did not unalive yet, so he still was operating under the law. That's according to Galatians chapter 4, verse 4. He said he born of a woman under the law, right? To redeem them that under the law. Right? So therefore he was still alive. Now, after he went to the cross. When he went to the cross, and all that he went through, that agony, that beating, all that crucifixion, that now was because at the cross, John chapter 19, from verse 28 to like 30, you notice he said those words. After this, he saw that it was all completed, fulfilled. Those words was mentioned.
Okay.
And also in John chapter 17, verse 4, he said fulfill. He said, I finished the work that you
Does
have gave
Jesus
me.
ever say he's going to die and then the law's going to go away?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Once he died, he
Yeah,
fulfilled
show
the
us
law.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to you. He
Oh,
says
so
now.
Jesus did say, when I die, the law's fulfilled?
Yeah, he fulfilled it. He said, heaven and earth will not pass.
Okay, well,
Not here in
show
Matthew
us where
chapter
it
5.
actually says that.
Matthew chapter 5.
Do not
Verses-
think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets.
Very good.
I have not come to
Very good.
abolish the law. So so that actually meant he did come to abolish the law when he dies, right?
No, he said he did not. No, he didn't abolish. He fulfilled it. So you see, you cannot fulfill
Does
something
fulfill
if you
mean go
destroy it.
away? Does fulfill mean
Yes,
abolish?
fulfill means he brought it to an end. So that means now
okay.
he is the fulfillment of the law. Love.
This says, for
Now-
truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. So did heaven and earth
Very
pass
good.
away?
He fulfilled it. He's talking about himself. He's not talking about me and you.
Did heaven and earth pass away?
No, and he fulfilled it.
Oh, well,
He was talking about him.
Here says,
He's not
Jesus
talking about me
says
and
the
you.
law's not going to change until heaven and earth passes away.
Him, it was not going to pass away until he fulfilled the law. Read 17, he's talking about himself. He's not talking
In
about me
18,
and
he
you.
says, for truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter
17,
will pass
read
from the law
17.
until all is accomplished. Do not think that I have
Read
come
17.
to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to
that's it.
abolish.
Slow it down. Slow
So
it down
you're saying
and begin.
fulfill means abolish, though.
He's talking about himself.
I know that. He says the law will not pass away until heaven and earth pass away. So did heaven
Verse
and earth
17
pass away?
said, I. Read 17. He said,
Sir,
I did
can you
not
answer
come.
my question, please?
I said to you, Jesus fulfilled the law. It's not you and I.
You're
You can't
saying
keep it.
not abolished means abolished.
All right. Yes. Jesus fulfilled it. So it's done with.
So Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law. I came to abolish the law. That's your
He
argument?
come to fulfill it.
Does fulfill mean abolish?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then
He
the
come
law's
to
not
fulfill
abolished,
it.
is
Mean once you fulfill something, it's
What
no
else did
longer
he come to fulfill?
all the laws on the prophet. Everything. He said laws on the prophet. Everything that the law
okay.
says about him.
And
everything
when
that the
did
prophet
he
says-
say that the law will be fulfilled?
Right there. Read right it says.
Did he
Until
say the
heaven and
law
earth
will be
pass.
fulfilled? Okay. Did
Him,
heaven
he
and earth
said
pass
he,
away?
I. He said
Did
I.
heaven and
Read
earth
what it
pass
says in
away?
17.
Did
I.
heaven? I've read it 10 times now, sir. So answer my actual questions here. Did
Heaven and earth didn't pass away. Jesus fulfilled it.
Okay, then the law's not abolished, is it?
The law is not for you though, for righteous man. You said you're saved, right? You're
Oh
Christian?
my God. You're getting so
Are you
lost in
Christian?
the story here. It's ridiculous, man. No, I'm not a Christian.
No, let me ask you, are you a Christian?
No. Former
You're not a
Christian.
Christian.
No.
So if you're not, well, the law is for you then. The law is for you. If you're not a Christian,
The
you can
law's
keep
for
the law.
the people who don't believe in the law.
The law is for the people who you didn't accept Christ. You say you turn away. So the law is for you.
The law's for people who turn from Christ.
Yes, the law is for sinner.
Where in the world do
The
y'all
law
get
is-
this stuff?
First Timothy chapter 1, verse 9. Read it. The law is not for a righteous
It's
man.
amazing
It's
that
for
Jesus
sinner.
can say, I did not come to abolish the law, and you take that to mean Jesus came and abolished the law.
The law is when he said he come to fulfill it. That means if you believe in
He
Jesus,
says the law will not change until heaven and earth pass away. You said heaven and earth did not pass away, yet somehow you think the law changed. So I really don't understand.
all right, the way you putting it. Let me explain it to you again.
The
Read
way
verse
you
17.
put it,
Read.
that's why
all
I
right, let
asked
me
you
stop.
the way that I did. I've read
You
the
see, you're
17
dancing away
10
from
times
my asking.
already.
Verse 17.
Not
You read verse
abolished, not
17?
abolished, not abolished, not
All right,
abolished.
hold on. All right, hold on one second.
Not abolished. Not
I heard
abolished.
I heard you. Hold on one second. I'm gonna read
You want to
something
read it
for you.
again
I'm gonna
now?
go.
Not abolished.
No. I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna turn here right now because I didn't have my Bible open. I like to talk to you with my Bible.
All right.
open,
Well,
'cause-
thanks for coming up, buddy. But I don't think we're gonna get anywhere there. Wow. Yes, I'm raging right now. I did not come to abolish the law. I came to abolish the law. Wow. You just can't get somewhere with some people. All right, let's try the next one. Got a nice little buffet of people lined up here. Getting lagged though. When does the law be fulfilled? When heaven and earth pass away. Did heaven and earth pass away? No. When did the law pass away? Oh, when Jesus died. Y'all need to learn some logic, man. Words have meanings. Words mean things. Jesus says things that have meaning. Unless you're a Christian, then they mean what you want it to mean. All right, let's try. Whoops. Oh, that one didn't work either. Lovely. Stop spamming. I just read Matthew 5:17 and 18 200 times. The easiest target. Who's the easiest target, Christians? All right, let's try. I don't know what's happening there, buddy. Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna try one more time, Elon. If it don't work, I'm gonna block you because something's weird here. All right then. Well, let's try the next one. Oh wait, that was smoke here.
What's up?
Smoke you there? What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yes, sir.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on the Spine Sabbath day?
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Yeah,
Good
we
morning to
actually
you.
talked the other day, and
Oh, that's right.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and do some homework and do some contextual things. But talking real quick about the law, just want to add on that. Yeah, the law is not over. Jesus
Right.
came to fulfill it for us, so we don't have to do like the sacrificial laws in order to atone for sin, things like that.
So he fulfilled some of the law, and you don't have to keep some of it.
So he fulfilled the whole law, like I was saying, doing the sacrificial things to atone for sin. But we also have to keep the law by not murdering, not stealing, holding to our moral code that was set upon Abraham as well. So we can't.
So I would go back to the
Christians,
original
but we
question
can be
there. You're
Christian.
saying the sacrificial laws were abolished, but all the other ones still stand?
They weren't abolished. They were basically done for us. They were fulfilled for us. The sin was atoned through his death.
Does it make sense to say the law's not abolished, but the law still went away?
They didn't go away. Yeah. So law.
Okay, then the law still
all
stands.
encompassing. Law is all encompassing for a lot of different things, right?
Yeah, Jesus says, if you love me, keep all my commands.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of them, right?
Right, but if I have to, say, for example, do a sacrifice to atone for sin and Jesus Christ died for my sin, what's the point of Jesus Christ dying for my sin if I have to still
There's not a
sacrifice
point.
for
Sounds
sin?
like a big mental mess is what it sounds like.
It sounds like an infinity loop, right?
Yeah, don't make
What
any
came
sense.
last, the law or Jesus Christ's death atoning for
Well,
sin?
Jesus says the law's not abolished, or Jesus says the law's, I don't think fulfill means abolished or went away, but even if it did, it says until heaven and earth pass away, the law will not change, right?
So with Christ dying, am I allowed to go kill somebody freely?
Does that mean heaven and earth passed away?
Sorry?
Does that mean heaven and earth passed away?
What do you mean?
Jesus says in verse 18 of Matthew 5, for truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. So did heaven and earth pass away?
No, I believe that's referencing end times. Contextually,
it is.
right?
That means the law will stand until heaven and earth pass away, and not one dot nor stroke of a pen is going to change from the law until heaven and earth passes away, right?
I guess I'm not sure. I can't answer that. But
It says, for truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. That's pretty clear, ain't it? I feel like it's pretty clear.
it's interesting because I mean, yeah, but like I was saying, in context, like that doesn't allow me to go out and freely sin at the same time, right? Just because I'm saved from
I
sin.
know, this is saying you're under the law, so don't sin.
Right, so don't sin.
Yeah. Sin is breaking the law.
And if you go out and knowingly sin, you know, that's what Jesus said. He's like, if you know the law and you knowingly sin, why did I die?
Right. So
Why did I come?
So now that we agree that the law stands and shouldn't and is not going to change until heaven and earth pass away, and you are under the law, my next question would be, do you keep these laws? All of them.
It depends on which laws we're talking about, because again, it depends.
All the laws.
So, I mean, what exactly?
Which laws did Jesus say would change here?
Exactly.
Because from what I just read, it sounds like Jesus is saying not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. So it sounds like Jesus is saying the law is perfect and will stand until heaven and earth passes away.
Well, if that's
So then my next question would be, do you keep all these laws that Jesus is telling you to keep?
But I actually went off on a tangent on something I didn't read into on your prompt. I was just adding on top of that, but we got down into a rabbit hole.
Oh, okay.
So I'll leave it at there for what that is. But like we were talking previously in the other live, we were talking back on Deuteronomy 22, where you were saying, you know, if something happens, the person is to be paid 50 shekels to the father.
Yeah, these are the laws that Jesus says you have to keep to get to heaven.
Right. So talking about that right there specifically in that context, I did some research from Dr. Gill on his dissemination of basically like what all that meant at that time. So basically with what that Deuteronomy 22 is talking about is if that were to happen, contextually, that would basically ban a woman from being able to survive on her own. Because at the time, if she wasn't an intact virgin, she wouldn't be able to take on a husband.
Well, not for a virgin price.
So the woman depended on the man, the husband, greatly to provide for her and the family, because at the
That's
time,
because women
that's
were
how
property. They didn't
because
have
the
any
man
rights.
provided for everybody, and the woman couldn't do anything because it was basically all like labor based.
Well, who got the money when the woman
Self-safe.
was seized and raped?
Sorry.
Who got the money when the woman is seized?
No, that was talking about actually in that context specifically upon that word. That doesn't mean to grape. That means with her and him consensually, and they're caught. Now, previously to that verse,
No, that's not
if they're
consensual.
caught,
That's
if
why it
they're caught
uses the
in
word seize.
field,
Seize means to take,
if
to
they're
grab.
in the field, that is when actually it says that that man may be stricken down. He may be killed because he raped the woman. The verse after that says that if they're found and they're having consensual relations, that means that they are going to be bound together, and that man is by law provided that he is going to, that he is going to provide for that woman for the rest of her life. That means that man cannot search for another wife by law, or he is going to be condemned to hell. So again, at that point,
Yeah.
within that context, within those very specific words, that guaranteed a benefit to the woman in a bad situation. So yes,
I'm sorry, but making a woman
it's
marry her rapist is not a
50
benefit to
shekels
her
for
in
committing
any
a
sense.
grave sin. It's not that.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
not that. Like I was saying
Yeah, it is.
in the previous live, there's no way that is entirely bad, and there has to be something that good comes from that. The good that comes from that is that the woman is provided a guaranteed safety for life, and that guarantees
She's not guaranteed
not
that.
go
She
on
just
to
says you have to marry your rapist for
by
life.
that law. He
She's
is
not
going
guaranteed
to be
any
condemned to
safety.
hell, so there is no further sin that he can commit.
Well,
So that's my thoughts upon that.
all right. It's not my thoughts, but anyway. So, do you keep all the laws?
I try to. I'm still a new Christian to the word, and I'm trying. I'm not perfect, so I rely on Christ a lot. So I understand that.
All right.
And
So,
I'm
have
not
you
the smartest
thrown
person
rocks at
either. I
anybody
don't
until
know.
they're unalived
That's why I
for
do my
tossing you to other gods?
That's why I do my contextual digging, because I'm like, no, there's no way that's a terrible thing. There has to be good that comes from that. So again, I was proven within that context, there is good that comes from a bad situation. That was my whole
Yeah, I hear you. So, you keep all these laws, right?
try to, yeah.
So, if I entice you to other gods, are you going to throw rocks at me until I'm unalived?
No, because that's not keeping the law. That I can't murder you. That's
Yes, it
that's
is.
God's vengeance.
Yes, it is. No, it says you have to. That's God's law. It says you will purge the evil from among you, show them no pity.
Which verse says that?
That's in Deuteronomy 2. Deuteronomy 17, Deuteronomy 13.
Yeah, it also says I need to stone, people who like the same sex too. So, I mean, I don't see any Christian.
Yeah, do you do that? That's because you don't keep the law.
Because again, Jesus fulfilled the laws for us. Because if I were not to do that, that would be a sin against me.
No, you're back to Jesus fulfilled the law, but Jesus says the law is not fulfilled until heaven and earth pass away.
But if I
He didn't
didn't
say the law's fulfilled when I die. He says the law will not change until heaven and earth pass away.
So if you were to be believing in other gods and I were to find that out and I didn't stone you, would that be a sin against me, and would I be condemned to hell?
That's a sin against God. Yeah, you're not keeping God's laws.
Right. So me not doing that is a sin. So if Jesus Christ died for my sins,
That's not keeping the law. You're breaking the law if you don't do it.
but Jesus Christ died for that sin, that means I don't have to
No,
do
he
it.
didn't.
He died for that sin. That means I don't have to do it.
Sin is breaking the law. If the law didn't go away, you are still sinning if you break the law.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that I'm breaking the law because I'm not doing that. Or
Yeah, the law stands. Jesus
need to
never says the law goes away.
uphold
Jesus
that
says,
law
if you
by-
love me, you will keep all my commands.
yeah, and I need to uphold the sin by, or uphold the law by stoning you because you believe in other gods.
Exactly. Yep.
So again, that's that kind of infinity loop. But within the New Testament, love thy neighbor, love the person and not the sin. That's the whole message.
Yeah, that's Levitic law too.
How is that loving you? For example, if you
It's in
were
Leviticus 19.
a God worshiper, another God worshiper, a same-sex lover, how would that be loving?
It's not loving you.
Loving you as a human.
It doesn't say to love everybody. It
And a
says to
neighbor.
love your neighbor, unless they break the law. It doesn't say to stop loving them. It says to throw rocks at them until they're unalived.
I think that's just a misinterpretation on your part, sir. to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, let's read it then. It says, if anyone secretly entices you, even if it's your brother, your father's son, or your mother's son, or your own son or daughter, or the wife you embrace, or your most intimate friend, saying, let us go serve other gods, whom neither you nor your ancestors have known, any of the gods of the peoples who are around you, whether near or far away from you, from one end of the earth to the other, you must not yield to or heed such persons. Show them no pity or compassion, and do not shield them. But you shall surely unalive them. Your own hand shall be the first against them to execute them, and afterward the hand of all people. Stone them to unalivement for trying to turn you away from the Lord your God. It's pretty clear, ain't it?
Yep, I hear that. Yep.
Well,
And I hear
you're breaking the law if you don't do that.
I hear your exact point of view, and I think that is a very raw, very literal take of the whole concept of the Bible, and I really think that is
literally what it says.
That's a really, it's a shame, because that takes away the divinity of Christ and what he sacrificed himself for to bring peace.
No, it just takes away your idea of Christ, not what Christ actually was.
But again, if I were to not do that, and that's a sin,
then you're not keeping the law.
And Jesus Christ died for that, that means I'm saved.
Nope.
Well,
I know it says that, but it's just a big mess. Like it's a cope with Jesus dying. Jesus can't die for your sins, according to Jeremiah in the New Covenant. You have to die for your own sins. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. And
that's why this is all a big mess, and I don't think anybody should believe it, because you either have to keep the law
right now,
or you
because
don't.
like I was saying, I joined into this live just to address basically what we're talking about previously in Deuteronomy, and I didn't look too much more into what exactly the law is, or sorry, not what Jesus Christ is covering as far as the law, because it does kind of not make sense. But again, there's got to be some kind of good that comes out of it. So with this on the law, I'm going to leave it as is, because you and I are kind of going into an infinity loop here, and I don't want to waste your time. So it has been good talking to you. I just wanted to address the Deuteronomy part, but I got to do some more homework.
This is from Deuteronomy, yeah.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to leave it as is, but I'll let you go. But it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, back at you, buddy.
All right, man. I'll catch you later. See ya.
Back at you. Well, at least he went and looked, so that's good. Pretty much, JJ. Yeah, no. Nope. Yeah, it's a big old mess. That's why nobody should believe this, because you have to twist yourself into mental pretzels to make sense of it. And you still can't make sense of it. You got to pick whatever you like and run with that and discard other shit for it to make sense. All right, let's see if this one dude's still here. He was talking some shit. Maybe it was. No, I guess he's gone. He called me boy in the comments. Ooh, 1303 followers. We beat the gold. I appreciate everybody. Little confetti pop. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, let's try the next person here. God is real. And bringing your psychotic ass up. All right. Your Sky. I don't think that's a Christian. Let's try Oscar here. No, Oscar. Let's the queue staying full, no? Oh, Oscar.
Yeah, how are you? Oh, I forgot. I didn't even know that I just got a notification that I guess I requested this. But let me read this. Debate a former Christian.
Oh, it was an accident.
Jesus fulfills zero prophecies. God is unjust, narcissist. I've heard those.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I consider myself, I guess.
Oh, you're over 18, right?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm 24.
Cool.
What's the topic for
any
here?
of those topics?
Is it
Oh,
the
there's four of them up there today. The
that's the
bogus
one?
birth narrative of Jesus. We got Jesus fulfills zero prophecy. God is an unjust narcissist and liar, and Christians are under the law of Moses.
Shoot. Um, what you think about the first one? You think it was
Whoever
bogus?
said fuck Trump, I agree. Wait, what now? Sorry.
You're all good, bro. Oh, so you're saying the first one? You're saying like the birth of Jesus was bogus? It wasn't true.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like from Muslims on the Muslim side, they usually say that Mary was pregnant by Joseph, and then
Well, the reason I say it is because there's two birth narratives in the Gospels,
yeah,
and both of them contradict each other. One of them only happens in the BC era, and the other one happens in AD, so they can't both be right. But they're both placed and founded on bogus prophecies anyway.
yeah, I remember that. I always thought about that too, but because when you think about it, though, I guess the Roman Catholics used to be Romans, and the Romans had their own versions as well. That what is it called? What's that word
Well,
called?
sounds like you already agree with me.
Well, I understand both perspectives, but I guess when I think about it, I don't know. I believe in God, like Yahweh, like the Father, but I always had issues with about Jesus, like afterwards, like anything over the New Testament, because sometimes I also would question things like, if Jesus is God, why would he be praying to himself? Why was he scared
Great
to
questions to
die?
ask.
And when he was laying on the cross, um, why you say, "Forgive them, Father, for they don't know." And usually, like way sometimes the way I see it is that maybe the man was a prophet, or maybe he was telling the truth. But let's say historically, there's evidence that he existed. He either must have been a crazy man saying these nonsense things, or he really believed it, or maybe he was saying the truth. And I guess in the end of the day, I think it just depends on what we have faith in. You know, I'm assuming. Do you believe in God at all, like taking Jesus out of it, or do you believe there's a creator?
No, I'm an atheist. Yeah.
An atheist?
Yeah, I
And
don't think there's any gods.
any gods? I
Yeah.
like that. Is there a reason why, other than just like we take away Jesus? How come you don't think like God, there's a creator at least?
Well, I was raised as a Christian, so I only believed in one God to start with. So when I dropped belief in that one God, it left zero.
Right. I don't know. Like for me personally, like science is what kind of made me believe, because I didn't really start believing until I was around 18, and I've always been into science, especially space. I'm always up to date with that James Webb telescope, and I don't
That's
know.
cool.
Maybe
So you're not actually a Christian then?
I believe in Jesus, but I also have these questions, and sometimes I feel guilty calling myself Christian.
Um, yeah, I mean, if you don't think Jesus died and resurrected, you're probably not a Christian.
That's the thing. Yeah, sometimes when I'm having my doubts and I try to do my research, there's like how you said, there's counter arguments for both sides. And usually when I take Jesus out of the equation, I do believe that there is a creator. Especially because the more you get into science, you start to realize that there had to be a creator at least.
Yeah, I don't get that from science personally, but I see how other people do, I guess.
Yeah, really. It's just like, I don't know. You ever think about like,
So you're like just like a Jewish or something?
nah, I'm not circumcised. Still got my little foreskin.
Well, you said you believe in Yahweh.
I believe in God, but I wouldn't call myself Jewish, because I don't think having to believe in Yahweh make you have to be Jewish to believe in Yahweh.
I gotcha. So is there anything we can actually debate up here?
Uh, I guess Number 3, God is unjust, narcissist, and a liar for Christians.
Well, which God are you talking about?
I guess they're both the same.
Who's both the same?
I'll just take. I don't know. It's all good, bro. I'm
Yeah,
much
I don't
love.
think we're. Yeah, back at you, man. Have a good one, dude. I'm not sure if I don't know what was going on there. We prefer to talk to actual Christians, though. So let's try one of them. All right, misbehaving. Uh-oh, we've run out again. Well, my queue's acting weird. Oh well. Well, I guess we'll have to wait a minute to get somebody else in the queue here. But in the meantime, let's check out our stuff again. Yep, up to 1304. We passed 1,300 followers, baby. Started this channel with a whopping 11. So we are up quite a bit. Nearly 1,300 followers from the start of the channel. What, maybe 3.5 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. So it's absolutely blowing my expectations for growth out of the water. That's for sure. Yeah, I ain't sure. I don't know. I was getting led to more like a deist, if anything. America was based on Christianity. That is poppycock. Not even kind of true. Absolutely, the Treaty of Tripoli explicitly states that, no, it's not. The Treaty of Tripoli explicitly states that America was in no sense founded on the Christian religion. It's pretty silly to say it was, because there's nothing in Christianity that says you should have freedom of religion or freedom of speech. You can't blaspheme God. You can't turn to other gods. These aren't Christian doctrines. So I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds like Christian nonsense again. That's what it sounds like. Maybe that's just me, though. Because, yeah, pretty sure the Bible says if somebody wants to worship another god, you're supposed to throw rocks at them until they're unalived. When the American Constitution says you can have whatever god you want, or no gods. And you can say whatever you want about it. It's not biblical even in the slightest. Not even a little bit. The Bible don't give a shit about being happy either. It's about suffering. This is not a guide for a great happy life. This is a guide to salvation, which includes suffering and persecution. It's pretty damn silly to say this is the guide to a good life. Even though you could arguably allude to that in some places. Indeed. Well, we need us another Christian to debate here. Yep, never mind. As usual, they come through the queue quick and then leave quick. You were never a Christian. You were always a prote. Well, read your book, Hebrews 6. They never know what they're talking about. Every Christian I ever met always thinks they're the real Christian and nobody else is real Christians. And you can't be a real Christian if you left Christianity. It's like y'all just say whatever nonsense meets your lips. Oh, okay. I see. Now it's accidents. Gotcha. If you're talking to me, put ape or something in the comment first so I know you're talking to me, because sometimes I can't tell. It's hard to tell if somebody's talking to somebody else or trying to address me. chapters King James took out? What chapters did they take out? It's just a debate, man. I'm trying to win debates up here. I'm trying to prove Christianity is a false, misleading doctrine all the way around. And humanity is going to be better off when these Abrahamic religions disappear from history. You can come up and talk if you want. 45,000 Christian denominations, pretty much. You got to pick some words of the Bible and run with it. That's all you can do. Because it's not a unified voice in the Bible. There's a bunch of different perspectives that contradict each other, so you have to pick one and run with it, more or less. Let's try this one. I have no idea what this is, though. Neuscher, is that what that is? Huh.
Sure. My dude, I just got one question.
Are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Are you a Christian?
Yep.
Cool. So do you have a topic you want to debate up here?
Like I said, I just had one question. What's your definition of religion?
Reverence for a deity.
Oh, okay. So you don't know the definition of religion. Gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome. Great defense of the faith there. Religion equals nonsense. That's the definition. It's a bunch of crap people believe they can't never prove. It's pretty funny. I like how Christians always try to make religion basically the equivalent of having a football team you root for that makes you religious, because they want to shove their nonsense onto everybody else and try to act like we're on the same level. You have a religion too. You have faith. Yours is just faith too. That's a great argument. Try to make everybody as low as you on the totem pole. I'm sure you don't. You got a request up, buddy. Just touch one of the boxes up here and it'll bring you in the queue there. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's bring up Mr. Tim then.
Hey,
Tim, are you there?
how you doing?
What's up, buddy? I'm doing well.
Okay,
Are you
so I got a
over
couple.
18?
I've been listening. My name's Tim.
Are you over 18?
I am over 18.
And you're a Christian?
I am a Christian.
Awesome. So do you got a topic you want to debate us on? Or?
Yeah, I've been watching you for a little while now, and what I feel you're most confused on, I think, is see, Christians aren't supposed to just shove the Bible down anybody's throat. Christians are supposed to walk the walk, and then when people ask them how they do it, they say, "Hey, well, look, I could tell you how I do it. Let me show you something." And what I see you do a lot is you take the Bible. You know what the Bible is? It's in a collection of books that were written a long time ago.
Yep.
Of God's commands to certain secular people in certain different areas of time. With the coming of Christ, that old law, no matter, it doesn't, I mean, it matters, right? But it doesn't, because Christ died for our sins. And, well, the Old
So
Testament.
does that mean you're not a sinner anymore?
Oh, we do still sin, right? Because we're human. We can never get rid of that.
Wrong
God gave us
answer.
free will. And
Wrong answer.
well, is it though?
Yeah. According to John, it is.
To who?
According to John, if you sin, you're of the devil.
Can you
So if you're a sinner, you're still of the devil. You got some more work to do.
see? I think you're taking things and certain phrases out of context. You see, when you
Am
go
I?
into the Bible, right? There are, well, you know this. They're written in 3 different texts 2,000 years ago. Most of them. The most recent texts we have were what, 2,000 years ago? You say?
Well, yeah, you want to read John?
Well, the translation, see, but we're not reading it in the original language that it was written in, right?
Well, I can't read Greek.
Well, neither can I, right?
That's
But
why.
there are,
Well, that's why I rely on modern scholars to translate the text the best we can into our modern language.
and they all agree, right?
Who all agrees?
The scholars that you're talking about, they
Well,
all
they'll
agree.
use different wordings. Well, they'll use different words for stuff, but for the most part, the
That's
translations of the Bible, some are different, and there are differences, but for the most part, they
some.
say the same things. Yeah.
There are a lot of scholars that say there's a whole bunch of different. See, the Bible's interpreted by people that know this language, and sometimes there are
Okay.
discrepancies within our language and what the old words meant, right? So
Mhm.
when we do translate this, we have to be careful because you just reading the Bible, can I refer you to 2 Peter 1:20, how it talks about no Bible is meant for personal interpretation, or no part of the Bible is meant for personal interpretation.
Yeah,
False,
that means
false
let
teachers,
somebody else read it to you.
false teachers, false prophets. It says all that, right? It describes
Mhm.
about all of that coming, and that's the
So,
times
which
we're
part of
living.
it's accurately translated? Is there any of this I can read and know what it's actually saying, or do
Well,
we have to learn Greek?
no, you have to consult a scholar that has studied theology for years and years and years to
Oh,
actually.
okay. Well, I've read probably 3 or 4,000 hours of biblical scholarship.
Well, are you a scholar?
No, but I've read 3 or 4,000 hours of biblical scholarship.
So does that make you a scholar?
It makes me privy to 3,000 hours of biblical scholarship.
But it doesn't make you a scholar, my man. You don't know ancient
So
Hebrew.
you got to be a scholar to understand the Bible, then,
Well,
is what
you
you're
can,
saying.
there are, that's why they have
This
priests
sounds
and
like an
pastors.
awful lot of
Hold on,
excuses
hold on,
why
hold
the
on.
Bible isn't trustworthy to read.
Oh, no, that's wrong. But now
Is it?
you're taking things, you can't cherry pick. You're cherry picking. You can't take the
Am I?
Bible
What
and
am I
look at
cherry
it.
picking?
You can't take the Bible and look at it as one book. It's a bunch of
I
different books.
didn't. What am I cherry picking? I never looked at this as one book.
I've heard you cherry pick the Old Testament over and over and over, berating Christians about, oh, you're a slave owner and you believe in slavery and all this.
I've
Come
never
on,
called
man.
anybody a slave owner.
Or maybe not a slave owner, but you.
Have you been listening to what I said?
I have been listening to what you said.
So why are you misquoting me and
Okay.
cherry picking what I'm saying now?
Excuse me. You said. Now, what does this mean when you ask somebody, do you think it's okay to own slaves?
Yeah, when people say all God's laws are good, and then I say, is this a good law?
Oh, but you see, those laws were given to a certain sect of people in a certain time of
They were
peril.
given to everybody in the new covenant.
Say what?
They were given to everyone in the new covenant.
There is a new covenant. There is a new law. And that was with the
There's
coming
not a
of
new
Christ.
law, there's a new covenant. There's only one set of laws. God's laws are perfect and they'll never be changed, according to God and Jesus.
But then you have the new covenant, which is the New Testament.
Well, here, I'll ask you like I asked everybody else. You can tell me if I'm true. Do you think all of God's laws are good?
I do. But
So,
no,
do you think owning people as property is a good law?
that is not good. But as you can see, these books were written 2,000 years ago.
Congratulations.
Hold
You
on,
just
hold on.
made my point.
But they were written 2,000 years ago when they had slaves, right? So what do people do? And where how do I don't know how to treat a slave if I have one, right? So where do I get that wisdom from?
You can look in the Bible where it says you can beat them as long as they don't die within a couple days.
Right, back when slavery was able and people had slaves.
Oh, okay, so when did the Bible change and say you can't own people anymore?
Well, the coming of Christ. Well, I can't say
Okay,
that.
so
I
where
can't,
does it
hold on,
say
hold
you
on.
can't own
Excuse me.
slaves
Let me
anymore?
take that back. Let me take that back. You cannot take that into text. You'll agree with me. Humanity realizes that it was wrong in the past, right? That's why the past is the past.
Yeah, the Bible doesn't ever seem to realize that, though, is my problem here.
But why is there the new coming of Jesus Christ and he gave us all these new laws? Why is that?
There's no new laws.
Well, excuse me, there's a golden rule.
There's a golden rule in the Old Testament law.
And that's all we need. If we keep the golden rule, we keep all the 10 commandments.
Which laws did Jesus and God say to keep? Did he say to keep some of them or all of them?
He did say keep all of them, right?
Oh, wow.
But
Sounds like he
listen,
said to
but
keep
listen.
all these laws and not just some of them.
But we have a coming of the new covenant, right? And that is, and what is that?
According to Jeremiah, it's the law will be
Now
written
you're
on your
going
heart
back.
and
You can't
your
go
mind,
back.
and everybody's going to know the law. What do you mean I can't go back?
You can't go back to the Old
You asked me
Testament.
what the new covenant was.
Yeah, but it's been fulfilled. Prophecy's been fulfilled.
No, it hasn't.
We don't have to burn things at the altar anymore. We don't have to sacrifice animals. We don't have to sacrifice people.
Not according to God. Not according to Jesus.
Are you reading any of that in the New Testament? Where are you reading that?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, it's on Jesus's mouth. He says, not one dart nor stroke of a pen will change from the law until heaven and earth pass away.
Oh my goodness. See, now you're cherry picking again.
I'm cherry picking Jesus's Sermon on the Mount
Yes,
words.
you're twisting
Okay, so
things.
what am I cherry
What
picking and how
verse?
am I wrong then?
What verse does he say that?
Matthew chapter 5.
Okay, let's go to Matthew, right?
All right. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commands and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But
And the
whoever
sermon-
does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So what did I cherry pick there?
Okay, so the Sermon on the Mount, or the Sermon on the Mount, is the first of the great 5 disclosures in this gospel, right?
Okay, so what did I cherry pick there? What did I say that was wrong?
But the only law he gave us, the golden rule, was what Jesus Christ said, and that is what we keep. If we keep
Did Jesus
that,
say, if you love me, to keep some of these laws or keep all of my laws?
well, you keep all of the laws. But do you know what's the difference?
Okay,
tell me
so
the
I don't
difference
understand
between.
where you're getting that this law is gone or you only got to keep one law when
Okay, then
it's
what-
clearly saying, and you're agreeing with me, that it says keep all of my commands.
And what? Okay, yeah. What Christ said, and what did Christ leave us?
He left us the law.
The golden rule.
That's part of the law.
That's it. That's all we need is the golden rule. If we
What do
keep
you mean that's it? Where does Jesus say follow this law and this law only?
the golden rule is all we need, and we keep everything else.
Again, does Jesus say to keep this one law or keep all the laws?
But
Which one?
did Jesus say specifically keep the terrible
All the
laws that
laws,
we know
yeah,
are
he did.
no longer good? I don't
Oh,
understand.
so he said keep the ones you like and discard the ones you don't like?
No, but what laws of God are bad?
Okay, like you're agreeing with me on everything here, but you're trying to twist what Jesus is saying to fit your own narrative and not what Jesus is saying.
Right, but what? Okay.
There's literally people in the comments saying you're the one cherry picking.
all right. Okay. So then tell me what laws were bad.
In my opinion, owning people as property is a bad law.
Well, of
Chopping
course.
women's hands off for crimes is a bad law.
And we no longer do that anymore, right?
Throwing rocks, yeah, because you don't actually keep the law.
Well, because
Thank
of
goodness
the
for
coming
that.
because of the coming of Christ, those old laws don't apply anymore. Those ones that you're
Where does
reading
it say that?
out of the
where does
Old
it say that?
Testament. Oh man.
Yep. Where does it say these laws went away?
Let me find. I gotta
In
find it.
Jesus' words.
In Jesus' words. Oh, I gotta find it. I will
Paul
have to find it.
Paul says the law is abolished. All of it.
And do you know, Paul and Peter were left the church. Most of all the New
Yeah,
Testament
but
was
did you
written
know
by
Jesus never says anything of that sort?
Paul. You know these testaments and books were written 100 years after his death.
Yeah, that's why I don't think anybody should take them serious. But people do, but they take them serious because they take the parts they like and discard everything they don't. So you're
But-
basically writing your
no,
own
no.
religion based on a version of what the Bible's actually saying.
Have you ever read the Dogmatic Constitution on Divine Revelation? You should, my man. It will explain a lot better than I can. I could read it to you, but
How
don't
come I
think
can't
you
just
want-
read the Bible and have it explained to me
It does say
with
that
what the Bible says?
because it was written. Do you know ancient Greek or ancient Hebrew?
I'm learning Hebrew.
Okay, well, if you don't know it, then how are you going to read the text?
Do you know it?
I don't know it, but I trust in the
Okay.
priests.
Well, I'll
I
just
trust
read
in my
the best
priests and I trust in
translation
my
I can find
pastors.
then.
I trust in the clergy.
So you let them read it to you. Are they scholars?
Well, yeah, they did study
Do they speak
theology.
Hebrew and Greek?
Yeah, a lot of priests do. They study
Okay.
for years before they can even, you know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I'm glad you got a scholar who is also a priest and a preacher,
Well, I ask,
who's a
you can
Hebrew and
ask
Greek
them.
speaker to read this for you.
You know, you
So
can
they're
ask
reading you
these
all the
people.
ancient manuscripts, right?
Well, you can buy a Bible also that has everything in it, right? It has all the
Oh,
little
okay.
footnotes and all that that'll tell you what it could have meant,
A
what
study Bible?
should
Yeah,
have.
I've got one of those.
Okay. Well, they make really, really good ones, and they make really, really better ones, I guess. But
Well, what's a really, really better one? Which one's got it right that I can read?
I wouldn't say any which one's got it right. You know what I mean? You know, can you tell me the difference between right and wrong?
Right and wrong?
Yeah.
Subjective terms that we made up? Yeah.
Okay, but you know when something's wrong, right? No matter who tells you if it's right or wrong. You can feel it. Like slavery
Well,
is
it's
wrong.
subjective. Yeah.
But we know
God
it's
says
wrong.
it's okay.
We know it's wrong, right?
Well, you're blaspheming right now. You know that, right?
But where do we get that feelings from? Where do we get those feelings from? Can you explain for me the feeling of love?
It's we're evolved that way. We wouldn't have survived very long if we didn't love each other.
Where do we
We're a
get that
social
from?
species.
Right. Where do we get all this from?
We're evolved this way. It's
So
innate
you're saying
in
that
us.
there's no
Unless you're
other,
a psycho.
that we're just that so it's just all just a big slash pot of chemicals that just made its way here, you know, by chance.
Yep. I don't know about chance. I think it was inevitable, but
So there's no bigger design. There's no there's no creator, you believe?
no, man.
Then where do we get all these feelings of right and wrong and love and hate, and where does all
I
this
just
come
told
from?
you they're evolved in us. We figure them out as we go as a society.
Wow.
That's why different societies have different moral frameworks, because they're different people in different places with different values. That's why this is all subjective.
And they all have an afterlife, am I right? Unless
I
you're
don't
an
think so.
atheist. Unless you're atheist. Then you don't believe in anything.
Well-
But that's silly too.
Well, if
That's
it's not
it.
true, then nobody has an afterlife. There's people who believe we have one, and then people that we don't. But there's no evidence for anything sort of an afterlife. It's a really weird concept to say when you died, you go off to live eternally. It's one of those Christian logical contradictions, I think.
Is it though? But it's in every religion. There's Valhalla. You got all kinds of different heavens
It's not
and
in every
earths
religion.
and all that. Well, it's in. I bet you there is a heaven and hell
It's in the Abrahamic religions.
equal. Well, Islam. It's the big three I know. You
It's
know,
an
so-
Abrahamic religion.
but let's go.
And they
Let's
think
go.
you're going to
with-
get 72 virgins in heaven.
Yeah, you know,
Kind of
I
a strange
cannot
for a
speak.
religion to promise virgin pussy as a
not
eternal
gonna-
reward, ain't it?
I'm not going to speak on another religion because I don't know, and I'm not going to say, because who are we to say that this is wrong and this is right? Because you said yourself, we're just made up
No,
of
I mean, I got
whatever.
my opinion. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I mean, it sounds like you agree with me that most of this stuff in the Bible's wrong, but
No. I believe there's liturgical and there's historical facts in the Bible, and the way people move
yeah, but you
things
said
on-
all God's laws are good. Then I brought up a law, and you immediately said, no, that's not good.
Well, you're cherry picking a law that was given to a certain sect of people a long
Look,
time ago.
I hate to
For
break
them to
this to you,
uphold
but
and
if
keep.
any one of us is cherry picking, it's you.
But those laws that you're talking about, were they not directed at a specific group of
No.
Jewish people back in the day?
No. They
Well,
were
what-
given to the
what law are you talking
Israelites,
about?
but in the culmination of the new
Okay.
covenant, when all these prophecies happen, the whole world is going to come to Yahweh and be welcomed into this covenant and keep his
Okay.
laws. There's a whole chapter nearly in Isaiah about this.
Well, then you just answered my question. What did the prophecy complete then?
Nothing. They didn't happen. That's why I'm not a Jew or a Christian.
Oh,
because
now
none
you're
of these
denying-
prophecies
so-
actually happened.
So So humans have carried this book on and passed this knowledge down for 2,000 years because somebody was just like on
Yeah,
some
because they
bullshit
don't
and-
actually read it. For
and
the
wanted to
vast
make some
majority
shit
of
up.
human history, the majority of the population wasn't even literate. People couldn't read this book.
That's why
Literally.
they made up stories and that were memorable and sent them
That's why
down
they
the
didn't
line
actually know what it says. yeah.
before books. This
Yeah.
is where we
That's
get.
why the Catholic Church for over 1,000 years made it a capital crime to translate the Bible out of Latin because they didn't want anybody else reading it. They would literally unalive you if you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, there were some points in times that were not the best
So
for religions.
don't you think it's a pretty big coincidence that
Well,
about
don't
the
you think-
time
So then
the majority of
all Germans-
populations are literate that Christianity starts plummeting for
So
100
all
years
Germans
straight?
all Germans are still Nazis? That's what
What?
you're saying to me? You're saying all Germans are still
No,
Nazis?
that's not what I said. And if you're going to start putting words in my mouth like that, I'm just going to kick
Well,
you
then
out
you're
of here,
saying-
'cause
well,
now
then you're
just
saying all
being a
Christians-
lying motherfucker.
Well, what'd you just say about Christians?
I said the majority of populations couldn't read up until recent times.
So that
And you
just
took
made
that as I'm saying
everybody
all
stupid?
Christians are still Nazis?
No. What you're trying to project is that all Christians think God's laws are good, so that that means that
That's what
they love
you
slavery.
said. I
They
asked
love
you
slave
that
owners,
question
they
and
love
you
all-
said yes. Then the very first law that I read you, you say no, that's not good.
Well, back then.
So if there's any one
It
of
is
us
not
being
good.
inconsistent here, it's you.
No. Listen. Back in the day when they had slaves, we know now today slavery is bullshit. It's not good. We all know that. It's not humane,
Well,
right?
you're blaspheming right now because this Bible don't agree with you.
Back in
Sounds
the
like
day,
you're
it's
way better
because
than the Bible.
back in the day, that was the culture. Back in the day.
So, if God didn't like it, he would have told them not to do it.
Oh my God.
See, like God don't like schmurder or eating shellfish or wearing misfabrics. He said, don't do these things or you will be punished severely. So it's kind of
And he-
makes no sense to say that he didn't like slavery, but he still allowed it.
But he gave that to a sect of Israelites a long time ago to uphold that law.
He told them
until-
not to eat shellfish.
until the prophecy, to uphold the law until this prophecy is fulfilled, right?
No, God told the Israelites to uphold these laws all the days that they live on the earth.
Are Christians Israelites?
No.
Thank you. So why do you
Some
have
of
up
them are.
there? Okay, but then why are you trying to mix the two?
I'm not.
Okay, then.
See, I just know what the Bible
Christians-
actually says, and it
But
says
Christians-
that when these prophecies come true, that all people, the entire world, is going to keep these laws. They're not just for
No.
Israelites, and I know that
But they
because I've actually
were.
read it.
But they were just for the Israelites. That's what
No, they
that whole
weren't.
book.
No, they weren't. You need to read your book.
Listen, man. So the prophecy's fulfilled now. Now what do we do?
They're not fulfilled. None of them was fulfilled.
Now where are we at? Christ came, man.
Now we're at. You think the laws went away when they clearly didn't?
No. He
In
left us one.
2025.
He left us one law, and that's to keep the golden rule.
And again, which laws does he say to keep? One law or all of them?
The golden rule. The Ten
So
Commandments.
Jesus said, keep this one law here, and that's good. That's all you need to keep.
And everything else falls into place.
So now you're just lying.
The golden rule is the rule.
It's amazing how y'all just lie about your narrative to keep it so
What are
openly.
you talking about lying? The golden rule, if you
I've
love
asked
your
you 3
neighbor-
times during this conversation, which laws did Jesus say to keep? And you even agreed with me that he said to keep all of my
The
commands.
10
Now
Commandments
you're saying
are
just
the laws
one.
that I'm talking about. The laws I'm talking about are the 10
Oh,
Commandments.
so now there's 10 of them and not just one.
But if you keep those, everything else falls into place. If you keep the golden rule, then you will not break the 10 Commandments. You feel me?
Did Jesus say to keep all my commands or 10 of them?
He left us.
You see why your
the
story is
golden
real
rule.
inconsistent here?
It's not real inconsistent.
Yes, it is.
It's real
Is
simple.
that what did Jesus say to keep all my commands or some of them?
Right, but who did he tell that to?
Everybody.
When? Where? What's the verse?
He was talking to the Israelites. He said he only came for the lost sheep.
Now
of
he was
Israel.
talking to the Israelites. Now we're to the meat and potatoes. He wasn't talking to the Christians,
Oh yeah.
right?
So now go read Isaiah and see who's going to be welcomed into this covenant.
But this is the Old Testament, my man. Prophecies come.
It
That's
doesn't
no longer
matter.
irrelevant.
Why do you think there's a distinguishment?
There's a difference between the old, because that is the old covenant, and this is the new.
Because you've
covenant.
never actually read it and you don't know what it actually says, do you?
What does testament mean? Can you tell me that? What does testament mean?
You tell me.
Covenant.
Oh,
We
a
have an
testament
old
means
covenant.
a covenant.
We have an old covenant. We have a new covenant.
Okay, so what does the Old Testament say about the new covenant?
It says how there will be a person born of this world, and there are certain criteria that needs to be met, and once that's met,
Where
prophecy will be
Where does it
fulfilled.
say that? What are you reading from?
I could take you to you know him already. I've heard you spit him to people. You know
Yeah,
him.
that's why I don't agree with what you're saying.
I know, but you see,
So where are you reading that from? That's what I'm asking you. Where did you get whatever you just said from? Where'd that information come from?
hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Bunch of Isaiah. There's Ezekiel. I mean, there's all kinds. Hold on a second.
Okay, so give us whatever you just said. That's what I want to hear. I said very.
I mean, it talks
discreet.
about it in Genesis, Psalms, Isaiah, Micah, Daniel, Zechariah.
Where?
What do you want? Which ones do you want?
Where? How about Isaiah?
Okay. Genesis, the seed of a woman would not.
I said,
crush-
how about Isaiah? And you go straight to Genesis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say, how about Isaiah? Hold on a second.
You said something's whatever you said earlier is in Isaiah. So where's that at?
Why don't you just go ahead and read your verses that you already got programmed that you're
From
about to-
what? Tell me where to read.
From Isaiah, about 90. What is
Where
it?
in Isaiah?
9. I guarantee you're about to bring up Isaiah 9. What is it? 90 something.
There's no 90 something in Isaiah.
Hold on. Isaiah speaks his servant, bringing light and salvation to all nations, fulfilled in Jesus' universal
Chapter
mission.
42,
Isaiah
chapter
42:6.
49. Which one are you talking about then?
42. There's chapter 40. There's
Chapter 42 and
Isaiah
49
9.
says that Israel is the light to the
Okay.
world. They are the new covenant.
predicts the child will rule with justice and peace, called Mighty God, Everlasting Father, peace. Points.
That's chapter 9.
Yeah, that's chapter 9. There's the suffering servant, Isaiah 53. A servant who bears the sins of many, suffers, and dies.
Well, where's the
but
part where
ultimately
you said
vindicated.
earlier that I was asking you about?
Okay, Isaiah 53 says, describes a servant who bears the sins of many sufferers and dies, but is
And who
ultimately
does it say that
vindicated.
servant is over and over again?
This is a prophecy of Jesus Christ's crucifixion and atonement.
No, it's not.
Reference.
It tells you over and over again who the servant that is suffering is.
It's referenced heavily in the gospel, though. In the gospel.
It's referenced heavily in Isaiah. It tells you at least 8 or 9 times leading up to chapter 53 who the servant is. So if you've read it and you don't know this, I don't even believe you read it.
I've read
Because it literally says over and over and over and over again who the servant is. It says in chapter 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 48. It says it a bunch of times.
we also have other books that talk about the prophecy, right? We don't have to just pull Isaiah out.
Oh boy, oh boy. I asked you to show me in Isaiah.
All right, but can we go back?
Listen
for a
here,
second?
let me
Well,
read you something from chapter 44 real quick. It says, "But hear now, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. It says, "Remember these things, O Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant, O Israel. Do not forget me." So who does it sound like the servant is there?
Okay, but you realize like the prophecy didn't just come out of one book, right? You realize that?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different. There's a bunch of different texts.
Yeah,
and a
I'm not
bunch
the
of
one
different-
cherry picking here. I actually take it all into account contextually.
Right, but you're taking it all literally, and the Bible is not a literal text. It's liturgical and
so
historical.
What's too literal there that I just read?
I'm talking about liturgical too. You know,
Okay, so what do you mean? So what did I take out of context there or read too literally? Give me something
I didn't-
specific.
I guess you can. You know, you can. I mean, what are you really even doing here? Are you trying to convince me that there's no Christ? Or are you trying to convince yourself that there's no
Boy,
Christ?
buddy, you're up here debating me, man. Like,
I am
I'm just
debating,
throwing your
but
points back at you because they're wrong. Like, it says over and over and over again, the servant is Israel. The servant is Jacob. That is Israel. This is talking about Israel, not a guy.
okay, that's one text. We do have
It's
other
one
texts.
giant book in the Old Testament that is very, very long. It takes like 4 hours to read all of Isaiah, where you can read one of the New Testament Gospels in 45 minutes.
Do you know why that is?
Yeah, I do.
Right. So we are in agreement that everything in the Bible is not facts, right?
Yeah, we agree with that. Yeah.
We agree there, right? Okay. A lot of
Mhm.
people would also agree that humanity gets better over time, right? Like we realize our faults and we realize that oh shit, that wasn't maybe the best option. So we're taking steps to correct that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
human
but you're
nature,
correcting a God that says he never changes and his laws are going to stand for eternity, basically.
I'm not
That's the difference
correcting
here.
God. See,
Yes, you are. You said one of his laws were bad.
let me
That's actually blasphemy. So
let me hold on. Damn it.
I've only got
I
a
had
couple
to-
more minutes though, man.
All right, yeah, I had something. I'm gonna do some research, man. I'm gonna request come back up, and
Yeah, that'd be great. You were great
because
to talk to,
I
actually.
definitely flew by the seat of my pants this time. But look, I definitely had a better you know what I'm saying. But I requested to come up on some bullshit, really. But I my question was kind of wondering, you're never gonna convince Christians, man. You're never gonna convince us, right? So
That's not
it
true. I
seems
was a
like
Christian who was convinced of this, and I left the faith.
it seems like you're trying to solidify that fact by trying to tell other
It's
people.
just a
like,
debate
hey,
page, man. If you're going to come up here and debate me, I'm going to shut your debate down the best I can. That's what we're doing here. This is a debate page.
right, I feel you, but you know, Christianity is all about, well, it's supposed to be all about the better of human people, right?
Well, I know that Christians have an idea of Christianity, but I also know what the Bible actually says. So I know the ideals of Christians differ greatly from what the Bible actually says.
That's
Most
why
of them
we
haven't
have
even read it.
that's why we have so many different denominations, right? But who is to say
Yeah.
which
Well, it's
denomination
because it
is
says a
right?
bunch of different contradictory things. So you can't run. There's some that's right
Well-
at the same time. Like you can make a great case for predestination and free will from the Bible, but they can't both be right. You don't have a predestined outlook on time and still have free will. That's impossible.
Well,
But the Bible
it-
does say both of those things.
right.
The Bible
I'm not
says to keep
saying-
the law. The Bible says the law is abolished. So which one are
I'm
you
not
going
saying
with?
that that's when we start to get liturgical and historical confused, right? Because
Yeah, that's why I say
there are
everybody
some
should
things-
just drop all this because it's a big confusing mess that don't even follow its own theology. Let me read
It
you
is-
something real
that's-
quick before I got to go, though. It
This
says,
is why we
everyone
have
who
scholars.
commits sin is guilty of lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. You know that he was revealed to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who abides in him sins. No one who sins has either seen him nor known him. Little children, do not be deceived. Let no one deceive you. Everyone who does what is right is righteous, just as he is righteous. Everyone who commits sin is of the devil, for the devil has been sinning from the beginning. The Son of God was revealed for this purpose, to destroy the works of the devil. So, I mean, like, scholars are great. I love scholars, but you don't
Or
need
priests.
them to figure this stuff out. It's pretty clear on its
Priests.
own.
Well, we do need priests and pastors because you're forgetting a lot about the Bible. Isn't the only thing that they
You
handed
need
down.
priests and pastors to tell you why this don't make sense when you read it.
No.
That's what they're for.
There's tradition that gets passed down with the Bible as well. That comes
That's
through.
what they do. They make sense of nonsense. That's what this whole book is.
Oh man, I feel sorry for you, man. I really do, because there's more
I
out
feel
there.
sorry for
to
you. That's why I do this channel, because there's life and logic outside of this silly book here, and I think we should all strive for that.
So you believe that the wisdom in that book is trash?
The wisdom that says you can own people as property,
Oh, but
and
that's
to
Old
cut women's
Testament.
hand off for crimes, and to throw
That's Old
rocks at people till
Testament,
they
man.
unalive.
We're talking about
And the
since
law
the
never
coming of
goes away.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. I actually understand this book, and you don't. He says these laws will last all the days you live on the earth.
But they don't.
That's
we don't
all the
have
days
to
you live on the
burn.
earth.
We don't have to burn sacrifices or make or sacrifice.
Yeah,
things
but
at
that's
the
not
altar
because of
and do
what
all
the
that.
Bible says. That's because you don't want to. The Bible says Levitic priests will make sacrifices for all time.
Right, Levitics can because they're Leviticans or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
but
they
it's not
do. They're
happening, and that
Israelites.
was part of the prophecy. There's no
But that's
reason to
not
believe
what
this
a
stuff. These
Christian is.
prophecies didn't come true.
Right, but that's not what a
I know.
Christian is. You're trying to knock the Christian, but you're not actually
I'm knocking the Christian logic.
stating. That's not Christian logic. What you're saying. You're talking
Christians don't
about
have
Old
logic.
Testament.
You
You're
have
talking about old laws.
your own narrative that you build around whichever denomination or belief you have, because you can't follow the Bible in a linear line and make it make sense.
Well, if you read the Dogmatic Constitution on Divine Revelation, if you really want to know something, read the Dogmatic Constitution on Divine
You
Revelation.
should actually just read the book if you really want to know something.
I
because It's
do.
pretty
I
revealing.
do.
That's why the Bible is the biggest atheist maker on the planet.
But the Bible is not meant, because if you take the Bible in its separate texts, it doesn't make any sense. You're right.
No
But
shit.
those
That's what I'm
separate
saying.
texts
That's why you need priests and scholars, because they make sense
to
of the
explain to
nonsense
you.
when you ask them about it. Yeah, exactly.
No, have you ever asked them? I don't think you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been bullshitted by plenty of pastors. I promise you.
Oh. Have you ever been into a Catholic church?
Yeah.
Have you? All right.
hmm
All right.
There's one they spent $50 million on in the county I grew up in. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And it was a $50 million complex.
I'm not saying they don't have money. They got money, you know. But
Yeah, it's just kind of
I'm
funny that Jesus says, sell all your shit, don't build up treasures on earth. It's
well, he
easier
doesn't
for
want.
a camel to pass through an eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven.
Yeah, but no. See, that's where it means
Oh,
follow
but.
him. Literally, I mean, yeah, you can
Yeah, he
tear
says
off all your
do this,
clothes
but
and
it
throw all
doesn't
your money into
literally
the
mean
street,
that.
but who does that? He doesn't really want that for us, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
nobody. But that's why most Christians are hypocrites, because they don't actually do what Jesus told them to do. Because everybody realizes that what Jesus told you to do is probably crazy.
So then, what is the way?
I don't know. Get out of the Bible's the way for me.
Well, okay,
Then
but then
stuff
we tell
actually
people,
starts making sense, because then you can actually use logic and reason to get to a belief and not what this book's telling you.
okay, well then, what belief do we have to go off of other than? Oh, I understand
Just
that,
use
you know,
critical thinking. That's all you need.
but see, we're just calling Jesus something else
Actual
instead
evidence,
of God,
facts, evidence, and data. We use facts, evidence, and data to the best of our
right? But
knowledge. And
now,
that's not a perfect system, and it never will be. But it's the best that we have, and it's what keeps you on the most realistic path to something real. You know what I mean?
well, I don't agree with that because I think the human condition is a little bit deeper. There's a lot.
Maybe
It's
it
a
is.
lot more
But
complex
either
than
way,
that.
the Bible's false.
I don't agree with you. That's where I don't agree.
I know. Well, you don't
I
agree with
agree.
God either.
I agree. A lot of the Bible has some, some bad history in it. Yeah, but that's human nature. What
Well, it's
good?
God's nature, because this is God doing and saying these things in the book. That's the difference. This isn't a book about a storybook about people. It's a storybook about God dictating stuff to people and what's right and what's wrong and what God likes, what God don't like, stuff like
Well, it's
that.
it's confusing to a lot of people. That's why there are people that are in place who have studied the language, who have done, taken the steps to actually fully understand the text that they're absorbing.
There's plenty of scholars who agree with me, right?
I'm sure there are.
Well, there you go.
There's
So who do we
plenty of
trust?
people that believe plenty of different stuff, but that's where the religion, who do you trust? That's where people, it's not for me to say that you're wrong and I'm right.
Shame
I'm
you
never
can't
going to
just
say that
read the
you're
book
wrong.
and have it make sense.
Yeah, but is it wrong? You don't know. You don't
It
know
is
that
wrong.
Jesus didn't. You don't know that Jesus really didn't come. You don't know that all this stuff really didn't happen.
You don't know that it did.
But I believe, because guess what? I have nothing to lose.
I believe it because I'm supposed to. Yeah.
I have nothing to lose.
You
What
do
I
have
lose?
something to
No,
lose. Yeah,
it's
you
not
do.
because I'm supposed to. It's not because I'm supposed to. It's
You
a
only
moral
get one life, man.
It's a
You
moral
only get one life, and if you spend it all believing in a nonsense fairy tale, that doesn't say much for you.
It's not a nonsense fairy tale, my man. There are parts of this
It is to
world
me.
that,
I mean,
that
I'm
we
sure
don't
you don't think of
understand.
it that way, but it's my opinion of this. This is definitely a fairy tale. It says two guys threw their sticks down and they turned into snakes and fought each other. Like, this is a fairy tale myth if I ever heard one.
Right, but that was probably liturgical things that they said and stories
Of
that
course,
they made
yeah,
up
yeah.
to move it down the line.
Yeah, it sounds silly, so that
Not
probably wasn't
everything
the
is
realistic
historical
part
in
of
the Bible. There's a difference.
it. The New Testament thinks this is all literal.
The New Testament.
Paul says
thinks
if
it's
Adam
all
didn't
literal.
eat that fruit, then this resurrection in Jesus was completely pointless. So do you think a guy named Adam ate a magical fruit in a magical garden and talked to a magical snake?
I don't know if it went down that way, but you can't say it did.
Well, if you don't know, then there's a problem here because the New Testament definitely thinks that was a real story.
Well, it could be. It very well could be. But see, there's faith that separates us from the animals. There's an element of human nature that we can't describe that fulfills us. And I get fulfilled by believing that Christ is there for me, that he died on those sins or died on that cross for my sins, and it gives me peace.
So now
It gives
you
me
don't
peace
sin
to know.
anymore, right?
Well, that's what it says. Right?
Yikes.
That's what it says. But we do sin because we're in free will. We have the opportunity to do whatever we want whenever we want. God doesn't control anybody. We have free will.
Okay. All right, listen to this real quick, and then I gotta jump off here. It says, I said to God, who will judge the righteous and the wicked, for he has appointed a time for every matter and for every work. I said to myself, with regard to humans, that God is testing them to show that they are but animals. For the fate of humans and the fate of animals are the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and humans have no advantage over other animals, for all is vanity. All go to one place, all are from the dust, and all return to the dust.
Right? We
It's
all will
basically saying
die.
we're just animals and we're going to the same place as animals.
We will die, but we know we're not just animals. You know that. You know that in your heart.
Oh,
But-
well, Ecclesiastes
But
don't
you
know
keep
that.
debating. But you keep debating these people and convincing yourself you're doing good work.
Oh, well.
Have a nice one.
Later. Keep convincing yourself this nonsense is true. That's what life's all about. That's what humans do. Well, unfortunately, I don't have much more time today. And of course, every time I want to leave, the queue is absolutely slam full. But this is day number 46 of debating in the books, and I will be back tomorrow for day 47. And hopefully tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I will have 10 people in the queue, and we'll be running on nice and strong here. Let me read some comments before I jump off, though. I appreciate the shit out of everybody today, by the way. We smashed my over 1,300 followers goal. Dang! 1314. Where the heck did that land us? 20 new followers. Hell yeah. I appreciate the shit out of everybody. That is awesome. But anyway, The time has come on the Sabbath to have to go to fucking work like a peasant. But yeah, it's ain't it so funny that they always come up here and I'm the one cherry picking. But every time we actually talk for a while, it seems like they're the one that's cherry picking is what it feels like. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's just my observation there, but it doesn't seem like it there. But anyway, everybody, Joshua, Finkeldorf, Rick, Jennifer, Flyer Child, all of you. No comment. I say no comment there now. That's cool. Ninjas, Ghost, everybody. Y'all have a very wonderful Sabbath, and I'll be back in the morning in the regular old time. It's been an awesome stream today. Awesome stream today. Awesome stream. Thank goodness it wasn't like for some reason the day before yesterday, it was really struggling to get somebody in the queue, but now it's packed out again. Everybody loves talking to the apostate ape, don't they? And once again, I have a YouTube channel. Oren, what up, dog? Oh yeah, I'll be here tomorrow, buddy. Thank you. I've been watching the spammers there, by the way, too. So I'm listening to my audience here the best I can. Oh, thank you, Servant. I appreciate you. I'm glad to see the Servant open, too. I got a lot of respect for that man right there. A lot of respect for that man. But anyway, guys, I have a YouTube channel that is also Apostate Ape. I put all the replays on there, and you can check those out if you feel like you missed something. They're pretty good. That way you can fast forward through me, like, babbling up until you see somebody pop in the box. So it's somebody that actually talk to, too. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you. Thank you all. I'll take a little bow here for... Whether you think I destroyed the Christians today or got destroyed, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's a good show for everybody. Again, I usually attack the... every now and then I probably slip, I'm sure. But for the most part, I do try to attack the argument and not the person. And I try to be the respectful debater and moderator and channel runner up here that most people, I think, want to see. Even though that may be a bit of a fib, I think people like seeing some fireworks, too. Which is true. But ultimately, I think I hold the thing. But anyway, if you're in the queue right now, please come back in the morning because I do want to talk to you. I want to talk to everybody. But unfortunately, I can't talk to everybody at once and stuff. Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate that. Servant, you have a good day too. Y'all enjoy the Sabbath. Keep it holy. Do not profane it. All right? That's what God says. A master debater. Yes, I am a master debater. God, I love that word. Have a good one, John.